understanding the market conditions at the time when you're looking to buy or sell your home and buy your new home out there is one of the most important things you can get into, so you get top dollar for your property and you're not getting undervalued for it. Also, so that when you're buying, you're not getting ripped off here. So you want to make sure you're paying a fair price for that property. That's what we're going to cover in this video right here. We're going to cover the Saratoga Springs and the surrounding area, the market condition, what's going on right now in December 2024 as we round up to the end of the year. And by the way, my name is Chris McMahon. I'm a local real estate agent right here in the capital region. We're going to be going through these numbers here and talking a little bit about how that affect you as both a buyer and a seller. So let's get right into it here. We're going to share my screen with you, and we're going to start off with the first thing we're going to do, which is we're going to talk about the overall condition of the market. Let's bring this right down. All right, so we've got our screen going in here. So this is the overall condition of the whole capital region, kind of going from south of Albany up to Lake George and east and west a bit. Then I'm going to break it down to some specific areas after that. And if there's an area that you're interested in that I didn't cover, reach out, get a hold of me. I'm more than happy to do a video for you so you can get those numbers and understand what's going on in here. But the first thing we're looking at right here, we got the number of listings. And the big thing we want to look at here is this blue line right here. This is the active listings that we're seeing here. All right, so we peaked over here in September and October with a little over about 23, almost 2,400. They were pretty close a month. Now it's dipping down a little bit for the month of November. We're still up over 2,000, which is very good because if you look back over here in the early months of 2024, we were below 2,000. So as of right now in our area, we're looking like our numbers are higher than they were a year ago, which means there's more inventory out there for home buyers. So also with the slower months, a lot of times there's less competition for these properties. So now if you're thinking of buying, might be a good time to get out there if you're a buyer because you have less competition going after these properties. And the same for sellers. There's not as many. You can see it's dipping down a little bit. People don't like to move. And sometimes there's less competition with the sellers as well. But we do see it dipping down. Not uncommon for this time of year. And like I said, we're still up from what we were a year ago. We're going to check over here and see what do we have. Let's take those lines out so it's a little bit easier for you. So the new listings that we can see, same thing. It peaked over here in May. It's kind of gone down. It was held steady through the summer, but it's dropped down the last couple of months there as far as the number of new listings are concerned. So come on over here. Let's check out our listing prices, okay? The blue line we're looking at here, this is the average sales price, and the average sales price for the capital region was $375 in the month of October, and it's gone up slightly to $377. So it's gone up a little bit over the last month here. So again, keep that in mind, sellers. Prices kind of going up a little bit as we get close to the end of the year here. So the absorption rate in months. Now, absorption rate. Some people don't understand this, so I do put it out here. If no more properties went on the market for sale today, how long would it take until there was nothing? Everything was sold on the market. Right here, this is telling us about 2.5 months. In 2.5 months, all the properties will be gone, and there'll be nothing left to buy if you're looking to be buying. Now, we know that doesn't happen because there's constantly new inventory coming out on the market. But that absorption rate kind of helps us judge where the inventory is now. And it actually took a steep drop. It was about 2.75, and it dropped down to 2.5 months of inventory right there. So the sold to list ratio. So we're at 99.2% for the month of October. It's down to 98%. So that's kind of slipping down a little bit as far as the sold to list ratio. And the days on the market is increasing. We're at almost 30 days for days on the market on the average. And we come down here. One of my favorite things to check out here is where are the property values the highest category, where most of the properties are selling, or price range, we should say. And as we look down here, we've got, you kind of have to add these two together right here because these are in 100,000 increments where these are in 50,000. So we can do a quick add right here. It looks like what? 271 in this area. So that's that 200,000 to 300,000 range is where the majority of properties are being sold in the capital region. So that's a quick overview of the capital region. Now let's go through and break it down to a couple different parts. First thing we're going to check out is we're going to check out Saratoga Springs. their numbers for November 2024. Let's take out these two lines right here so it's less confusing. But you see these lines are following the same trend that we saw previously. All right. We peaked right here in Saratoga for the number of listings at 162 last month, and we're dropping down right now to 142 for this month. So dropped by 20. Right over here, new listings was 63 the previous month and is now down to 41. So the new listings have slid down a little bit too. But we're coming over here. The average sales price had trended down for a couple months, but now we spiked right back up. Okay. So we're looking right here, November, 891,000. Average sales price in Saratoga Springs right now. Price point is pretty high. That is up from 713,000. We're seeing the same thing right down here for the median sales price. 530 was the median, and now it's 650, jumped to 120,000. So sellers in Saratoga, you want a home evaluation, see what your home is worth, reach out. My information's below. Get a hold of me. Be more than happy to run the numbers for you and go over what you could get for your home in this market, because we see it looks like they're spiking up in Saratoga. So let's move down here a little bit. Absorption rate is down. We're here at about 3.86, so we're just under 4 months. And the sold to list ratio has dropped down to 99.1%, down from the previous month of 99.5%. Days on the market has increased to 39 days, up from 29 days. So the days on the market jumped 10 days. And we're coming down here. Where is the big movers in Saratoga? Listen, if you've been watching my videos, you know where it's going to be already, but we're going to cover it anyway. It's going to be just what we thought, right over that 500,000 range. You could have predicted that from the line up there. The median sales price, remember, was 530, right? So 127 sold at the 500 and plus range. And combined, the 3 to 500 range, there was 14. It looks like we got something down here at about 70 to 80,000. And that's it for Saratoga. So let's get back up here. Let's check our next spot. Our next favorite location, we're going to check over here. Let's check out Clifton Park. So Clifton Park's numbers as we're going through this. Okay. So second month in a row, we're down active listings down to 38. New listings was at 49, came right back down to 21. So a big drop in the number of new listings out there. We got competition decreasing as far as the number of listings right there. Right here, listing price. It was, for the month of October, just over 500,000 for the average sales price. Took a dip in November. We're at 448,000 for the average sales price, coming down a little bit. Right over here, same thing. Median sales price is at 430,000. Coming down, absorption rate down for the second straight month, just over a month for the absorption rate, 1.15. List to sold ratio, we'll get at 102%. So still over 100% for that sold to list ratio, which is good for sellers. And days on the market, we got here 26 days it was in the month of October to drop down to 13 days, just under 2 weeks for number of days on the market. So that's the average of how long a house is staying on the market in the Clifton Park area. Where they're going to see the biggest movers and shakers here. So we got 11 in that 500 plus, we got 8, 7, and we got 7 in that 2 to 300. So right here as well, not as many as in Saratoga Springs, but still the price point is over 500,000 in Clifton Park for that area. Coming in here, let's check out Albany. We're going to hit up the capital. So our capital of Albany. What are we seeing here? We're seeing a little spike, right? Active listings, 108, jump up to 113. So our number of active listings went up, whereas our new listings dropped from 90 down to 64. So the market slowed down here. Again, we're getting to the colder months. People don't want to move as much in the colder months. It's also the holiday season, so it can be a little bit of a busy time. People don't want to deal with putting their house on the market when they've got family and friends coming over. That's kind of a nightmare. So seeing this stuff drop down, not all that surprising. List price right over here, October, 313,000, almost 314,000. That's what we're going to call it right there. Average sales price right over here, jumping down, 305,000. So dropped down a little bit, but where we're seeing the median actually went up, 280. It was in October. It's at 288, almost 289 for the month of November. Coming down here, absorption rate is at 1.78, so creeping up closer to that 2 months. As far as the absorption rate, the list to sold ratio went back up. You know, it had trended down for the last couple months. It really had trended down from when it had peaked right over here in, what was that, July. So now it's coming up here. We're at over 100%. We're at 100.9% for the list of sold or sold to list ratio. And days on the market has dropped down. It's at 7 a week for days on the market for the Albany area. And coming right down here, where is our biggest price point? Is right here, actually. Nope, actually, I forgot. We got to add these together. 28. So that 200 to 300,000 range, much more affordable than what we're seeing over in Saratoga and Clifton Park. But we got 28 in that 2 to 300 range. We got 18 in that 3 to 400 range. And we got 3 and then 5 to round out our numbers here for the top ones. Coming down here, let's check out. What's our next spot we're going to check out here? Albany. Let's hit up Ballston Spa. Ballston Spa right outside of Saratoga Springs. Let's take away the pendings. Let's take away the sold. And what do we got left? Our active listings were at 38 for the month of October, dropped down to 34. So did drop, but that's not a real huge shop. It's only 4 properties right here. But what do we got for the number of new listings? Was at 28. This does appear to be a much bigger drop here, down to 17. So yeah, a bigger drop there, the number of new listings that popped there out in the market. But over here, average sales price was 428,000. It is now down to 405,000, where the median sales price was 415. That dropped there as well, down to 402.5. So we're seeing that prices drop down a little bit. Absorption rate for Ballston Spa was at just under 2 months, 1.88. It did come down at 1.74. So a month and 3 quarters here for the absorption rate. List to sold ratio, big drop right here. It was at 104, which is pretty high because we didn't see that number that high, not in the last couple of months at least, and in the other areas. But now it's come down to just below 99, 100% down to 99.3. Days on the market has dropped. We're looking at about 3 weeks for days on the market. And where are the numbers in this area? Right here, that 3 to 400 range. There was 8 sales. 4 to 500 was second with 7 sales. That 2 to 300 range only had 2. We only got 5 or 4 sales over the 500,000 mark in Ballston Spa. Queensbury. We're going to head up north. We're going to check out the Queensbury area. And we're going to round it out with Glens Falls when we get through there. So it stayed kind of flat here. 48, 48 for the number of listings that are out there. New listings did drop 25 down to 20, so it came down 5. We're seeing an increase in the average sales price from 382 to 423. So the median went up 337. Pretty good spike right there to 438 for the median sales price. Absorption rate, we're sitting at about over 2.5 months of the absorption rate. And right here, that list to sold ratio is down for the 3rd month in a row. It is at 97% for that sold list ratio. Days on the market is at about 2 weeks for days on the market. How's it going? But where are the big numbers? We had 9 sales at 500 plus in that area. That's going to be the winner, which I don't think we've seen that in this area. Not in quite a while, at least. Not that I remember. But even that 2 to 300, combining this, only had 4, and then we had 6 in that 4 to 500 range. So good news for some people in there, because those numbers are up for our sellers in that area. So let's go here and check the last spot. We're going to go into Glens Falls, check out our area in Glens Falls. Small market, not a lot of places, houses in there, but it's a fun spot. I like the Glens Falls area. I like to cover it. So we got right here is active listings 21. It is up slightly to 22. So it's been up over that 20 mark here for the last 4 months. So we can see the previous 8 months for the month or 7 months for the month was below that 20 mark. So the numbers are up as far as what's on the market. And we got the average sales price jumped from 240 roughly up to 255. The median went from 235 up to 249. Absorption rate is sitting at 1.82 months. The list to sold ratio is at 94.1%. Days on the market, again, right around 2 weeks for days on the market. Where's our spot? Number 1 spot where places are being sold for the numbers. Looks like that 2 to 300 range. So again, Great area, more affordable. We got 10 sales last month in that 200 to 300 range. We had one over that 500 mark, two in the 300 to 400, nothing in that 400 range right there for our area. So that is our overview for the market. If, again, there's an area that you're interested in, I didn't cover because it's not enough time to go over every single spot, and there's definitely plenty of other areas that I know people are interested in. But if you got some questions on other areas, reach out and get a hold of me. My information is below. I can look up that information, do your own private video, and get that out to you. And if you found this valuable, subscribe because I got more videos coming out, market reports, covering the areas, all kinds of good stuff that are real estate related. Don't want you to miss out on any of that. So I will catch you guys on the next video.